Greetings and blessings, dear friends in the Spirit 111. It is Eddie Luisi. How are you? Today's theme has an interesting title. It's called Eddie Luisi, a Friend in the Spirit. Oh, sounds interesting, huh? I'm going to read something before I start. From Neil Donald Walsh. On this day of your life, I believe God wants you to know that a hunch is angel talk and probably should not be ignored. Listen to your hunches, pay attention to your intuition. Do not dismiss your random thoughts, inspirations, or ideas. Heaven talks in snippets, not in speeches. Angels whisper fast. They have to when they're flying around. Honor your hints from heaven. They could be giving you the best advice you've ever had. So, dear friends in the Spirit, I'm going to just mention a couple things that happened this week, and then I'm going to talk about Eddie Luisi, a friend in the Spirit. Have you heard of him? So, last weekend, Pride Parade in New York City. Look at that. There's like a double rainbow over New York City. That's a daytime shot I found on the internet, and a nighttime shot. So, just a sign from God, a God wink, right? That all involved are under God's loving care, loving light. So, just wanted to share that little snippet. Also, we just celebrated Independence Day. So God bless America, God bless the world, God bless my friends in the universe. This morning, my wife woke up and she went down to our little laundry room and said, "We got a major flood." I said, uh-oh. So I'm trying to stay calm, trying to keep it centered, and go down there and we have some water damage in the ceiling, so it must be coming from the bathroom. So we contacted our contractor and he's gonna come by next week to rip a hole in the ceiling and check the pipes. And, you know, I could get upset and stuff, and I told myself, just relax. It's not the end of the world. Got to be grateful for so many things. And then our dear friend in the Spirit, Himansu from India, he private messages me and shows me 5 pictures from his town. Total floods. Everything is immersed underwater. And it's like, look at the little thing that I have and look what they have over there. So count your blessings. Sometimes your problems are just a tiny little problem compared to other people in the world. So Himansu, friends in India, I pray for you. God bless you. I pray that everything turns out for the best. So since it is July 6th that I'm recording this, we're in the July issue of Science of the Mind. And remember, I told you Eddie Luisi was in it. So I don't know, a few of you have the issue and texted me, messaged me, and saying how they were inspired by it and they enjoyed it. So thank you. A lot of you, I don't know if you read this, and I don't know if you're ever going to read it. So what I'm going to do is read my article. And that's it. So this is going to be a short one. But look, if you don't mind spending the few bucks, Science of Mind is really great. And they have a lot of different articles, and then they have daily reflections each month. I get a lot of my material from that. So it's really wonderful stuff. So the first thing, it's called A Friend in the Spirit by Julie Moreau. Let's see the pictures. There's me at Good Morning America with some of the celebs that I have been blessed to work with. Demi Lovato, Alicia Keys, Hugh Jackman. And then under the picture with my coffee cup, it says, Eddie Luisi, stage manager at Good Morning America for more than 33 years. Woo! And it has blessed, right? And then it has a picture of me with my 2 tattoos and the logo, the new logo of Friends in the Spirit. That one simple word tattooed on his left forearm centers Eddie Luisi on who he is and what he is to do. Spirituality informs his life. Being the self-described, almost famous stage manager at Good Morning America for more than 33 years, Luisi recognizes that he has been blessed and honored to work with many of the best in all fields of media, music, and ministry. Okay, so a little aside, okay, because I kind of throw myself in there. The Almost Famous came when one of my daughters was at NISMA. It's like this music thing in New York State. And they had T-shirts. And one of the T-shirts said Almost Famous. I said, I'm going to buy that. And when I work on the stage in Central Park at Good Morning America for the summer concert series, I'm working with the famous. I'm going to have my T-shirt Almost Famous. So for several years, I wore that. And the people that used to come back in the audience week after week, you know, I was almost famous to them. And then where it says, I worked with many, honored and blessed to work with many of the best of the best. That I have on my business card. I have that on my LinkedIn page. So, yeah, and grateful. He has made lifelong friendships and contacts so he may continue his calling to help others. Author Joan Baer, a dear friend, called Luisi a divine appointer, in that he helps souls with their divine appointments. Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. So Joan was a guest on Christopher Close-Up, a TV show that I used to direct years ago from the Christophers, and I read there 3 minutes a day. Tony Rossi always sends me a book each year that has reflections. And Tony contacted me, he said, Joan's grandson just graduated college and he's involved in media and TV. I was wondering if you could chit chat with them. So I said, yeah, so let's go out to breakfast. So one day after GMA, the four of us were supposed to get together at a diner. Tony couldn't make it, so it was just me, Joan, and her grandson. So we're sitting there and we're chit-chatting, and I'm kind of mentoring him for a good 20 minutes or so. And then at the very end, I said, look, bottom line is I'm a stage manager, so I can't hire people. If you're an author, I can't get your book on GMA. I can't get you as a guest. If you're a musician, I can't get, like, there's a lot of things I can't do. But I said, I've been honored and blessed to meet a lot of people. And I made a lot of contacts, and I have a lot of business cards, so I could kind of connect you and help you out that way. Then Joan, she's sitting across from me from the, the diner. It's a booth. She gets really, really close, and she goes, you're not a connector. You're a divine appointer. You help souls with their divine appointments. I said, whoa. I said, in all my years, I've never heard that before. And in all my readings, I watched The Secret documentary on Netflix, and it has all these experts, and they have, underneath them, they have all these different titles. No one had divine appointer. So we finished our conversation, finished our meal. I'm in my car driving home saying, wow, God, what do you want to do with that divine appointer? That's like unbelievable. So I'm still trying. I'm still trying to help souls with their divine appointments. I'm blessed, honored, grateful to be in the Science of Mind magazine. So things are happening, right? A Catholic church musician for more than 45 years, Luisi has performed for thousands at concerts, conferences, retreats, prisons, hospitals, schools, and churches. In 1997, he was blessed to become an ASCAP composer and publisher with his company, Faith, Family, and Friends Music. ASCAP composer, that's, I think, the American Society of Composers and Publishers. I'm going to move on. He describes his own spiritual journey as one in which he has become more spiritual, more open to new thought, always with the goal of helping bring people closer to God. In 2011, his quest to expand his own spirituality and help others understand theirs led Luisi to start an online ministry he called Friends in the Spirit. Now, I wrote 2011, but I don't remember. Maybe I did it even sooner, but I think that's when I started. So if any of you out there are original Friends in the Spirit, let me know if 2011 is when I launched this. He began his efforts with a Saturday morning email blast to friends, family, colleagues, reaching about 500 people a week with his collection of spiritually uplifting messages and stories gathered from various places and friends. You. The overwhelmingly positive reaction and response made him wonder. Was that good acting? How he could expand this online ministry to an audience of thousands. In 2016, he created a Facebook presence for these messages, adding 111 to the original name. Luisi explains that 111 has a number of meanings to him, including spiritual awakening, light worker, and Holy Trinity. So let me put a little aside here that's not inside the magazine. So initially, I just wanted Facebook Friends in the Spirit, no numbers. But there was already a Facebook page, Friends in the Spirit. So I said, okay, so I have to add something to it. I was going to do 1111 because 1111 is a very spiritual number, and a lot of people, see that. And when they see it on their clocks or they're driving and they see it on signs. But then I said, because I have a religious background and there are a lot of religious people, not just New Thought and spiritual type people, if I do 1111, it might turn some people off. So I said, how about 111? And then in researching 111, I found that it has meanings of spiritual awakening, and that's what's happening to me. I'm having a spiritual awakening. Hopefully you guys are too. A light worker, sending my light, the light of Christ, the light of love, out to other people. And then 111, I didn't think of this, but a friend wrote saying, hey, when I see 111, I think of the Holy Spirit, 1113. I said, that's cool, I'm going to use that. So I listen to you guys when you have some good advice. I put everything I read that I like into a purple folder. I think I've showed you my purple folder before. He says, and then I pull it all together on Saturday morning. I'm not an expert in talking about this, but I find what touches me and share and embellish it. So what I deliver becomes my own voice. And it's interesting. In my early stages, some people said I wasn't original. And initially it was like, oh, you're attacking me. Ow! But then I listened to Rob Bell, and he does these Robcasts. They're podcasts, but he calls them Robcasts. And in one of his Robcasts, he mentions how basically nothing's really original. Everybody's taken from somewhere. But he said that if a certain person takes from different things and then they share it as a podcast, a video, a book, a magazine article, it's original because they're putting their 2 cents into it. They're putting their vision. So when I take from these different booklets and different websites and different pictures, and it's all out there in the universe, and I pull it and I put it in my folder, and then I kind of put it all together. So I put my own originality into other people's works. So it becomes my voice, right? And his audience continues to receive his greetings and blessings as the number has grown to between 2,000 and 5,000 friends for each weekly weekend message. That's you guys, so thank you. Thank you. And feel free to, share this, copy, paste it, send it out, and let's get this to 20,000 or 50,000 people. Cue the spirit. Pointing his phone at himself to go live, Luisi joyfully opens his message. Greetings and blessings, dear friends in the spirit. It's Eddie Luisi. Now, in the old days, I used to hold the phone. I don't know if you remember, and I used to hold it, and my arm was tired. I'd hold it for 20 minutes to a half hour, and I'd be turning pages. A lot of times in the beginning, too, I was out on location. So I was at different locations that had beautiful scenic backgrounds. I was at the Marian Shrine for a long time. They had like a pavilion. They had an overhang. So I would sit on the bench and I would do it there. And now I connect it. I have a clamp here on a music stand, a guitar stand, a mic stand. And so I'm hands-free now. Woo! And I put this little backdrop thing, and my piano's here. So things are changing. So now the title, Begin with a Ritual. It has 2 more pictures. Elton John and me with Miss Piggy. To maintain his focus on being blessed, Luisi begins each morning with a ritual, perhaps more accurately described as a series of rituals. I have a home ritual, he explains, a go out the door ritual, a stop at the chapel ritual, a driving to work ritual, and an at work ritual. He begins his day when many of us are still hugging our pillows deep in the sleep that refreshes. His rituals represent a range of spiritual teachings and approaches to prayer. He begins with a Science of Mind daily guide. Then he includes affirmative prayers. I have a little sheet that I got from Jennifer Berkeley from Rockland Center for Spiritual Living, and I keep that. I think I've showed you that a long time ago. Let's take a pause and look in the purple folder, because I keep things in the purple folder too. Affirmative prayer. I read that every morning. And I pray for you guys. I pray for me, my family, my friends in the Spirit 111, my friends in the universe. 3 minutes a day from the Christophers, right? You guys know about that. The Lady of All Nations prayer and St. Teresa's prayer and teachings from unity. This is all before he leaves the house. Okay, so I'm going to do something interesting. I'm going to lift up the phone right now. I'm going to walk out of my little office, and you're going to see those two prayers on a cross, the San Damiano cross. Okay, so now you're going to see my messy office and pictures and music room. But so if you look here, there's the San Damiano cross, right? And then I have the two prayers here that I read, and I basically stand here and I touch the cross 3 times, right? And I say the prayer, and then I have a picture of Mary here, and I hold her, and I say these prayers. So that's my ritual in the house. Next, I go outside the house. So this is my little office music studio, as you could see. Right, so I got the music, I got my office. Whee! Okay, so you're getting a little behind the scenes of Eddie Luisi today. Okay, so I'm back on the stand. I look pretty decently framed. Okay. As he steps out his front door, Luisi raises his tattooed left arm. You know, a lot of times people in churches, when they pray over you, they always pray with their right arm. For some reason, I pray with my left arm. And when things are really happening, I get a tingle. I get a tingle in my hand and my arm. Never got a tingle in the right one. So when I pray, I do a left hand prayer. Thank you, God, for watching over, guiding, protecting, and blessing me, my family, my friends in the Spirit 111, and my friends in the universe. He then takes a deep breath in. This is dark, right? This is in the middle of the night. So I get up for Good Morning America. And I say, I am one with the earth, water, fire, air, and space. That's what's written in the book. But now I do air first. So I breathe in. I am one with air, fire, water, earth, space, all the heavenly bodies, all the clouds, all living creatures. So from animals to plants to trees to insects. So that's a little added that's not inside this book. Right? Because this is spiritual awakening and spiritual growth, and things change for me too, and I grow also. And the blessings continue as he prays for the neighborhood. Right? I pray for the neighborhood, my neighbors, my friends. I pray that all who enter don't harm, don't hurt, don't do any type of crime on me, my family, my friends, and property. And then when I drive in my car, I pray for different areas. I pray for the towns. I pray for New York City, New York State, the tri-state area, and different places that are special to me. I'll raise up my hand and I'll say prayers for people and places along the way. And the blessings continue as he prays for the neighborhood and various places and the people along his drive to the local Perpetual Eucharistic Adoration Chapel, and finally to work in New York City. So that chapel, Perpetual Eucharistic Adoration, PEA stands for. It's a Catholic chapel. And in the Catholic faith, they believe Jesus is present in the host, in the bread and wine, in the Eucharist, right? And they have what's called a monstrance, and it's this metal, almost looks like a sun with a glass enclosure, and they put the host in there. It's on a stand. And the chapel has adorers / guardians that are there every hour on the hour, 7 days a week, 24 hours. And 5 days a week, I stop by. 3 days, I just stop by. I say a little prayer. I pray for you guys. And 2 days a week, I actually spend a full hour there. So I'm considered a guardian adorer. And in that full hour, I'll say my prayer. I'll kneel down, say a little prayer. Then I'll sit in the back. And there's a little rocking chair. And they have a little booklet that's a daily prayer. I'll read that reflection. Then any type of booklets or prayers that I bring, I'll read for 20 minutes to a half hour. And then I'll turn the lights out. And it's almost like pitch dark in there, except for some candles. And I'll try to just quiet my mind and meditate. And that's my little ritual in the chapel. And you know what? You don't have to be Catholic to go to that chapel, right? Just be quiet, be respectful, but anybody's welcome. And there's chapels all over the places, right, folks? On each step, Luisi constantly prays while thanking and talking to God. He jokes that he talks to God more than he talks to his wife. An expansion in spirit and a new path. So they actually, Holly, who's the editor, made this really cool graphic and has all my different rituals in it. After visiting many religious places of worship, Luisi found himself still searching for something more. His journey expanded in 2018 when he found I wasn't the founder, I found it. A center for spiritual living in Rockland County, New York, led by Reverend Jennifer Berkeley. This guided his spiritual expansion and introduced him to affirmative prayer. So let me stop aside, get a sip of coffee. So I went online and I was just looking for different spiritual places. And Rockland County had this Center for Spiritual Living. And they rent out each Sunday, I think it's at 11:30, there's a barn down exit 5 off the Palisades, and I went to it. And very casual, very folksy. There are anywhere from 10 to 20 people that show up, and they do affirmative prayer. They kind of like stand in the back and someone prays, and then they sit down, and then it's kind of like a service. It's not a Christian service. It's a Center for Spiritual Living, but they'll play some music, and then Reverend Jennifer gives a talk, like a homily, a sermon. There's some songs, Sign of Peace. They do a song called Namaste. The divine in me blesses and honors the divine in you. And when the song plays, you basically fold your hands and you look at a person and you bow to them. Namaste, and you turn and you bow and you turn. The first time I did that, wow, what a spiritual experience. I'm looking right in a person, right in their eyes, and I'm saying Namaste. The divine in me blesses and honors the divine in you. I've been a Catholic church musician. I've been to a lot of different churches. That touched me big time. And then I learned the song and I played it at a few of my Catholic churches at different areas of the Mass. And hopefully it touched some of the people there. His ecumenical journey to spirituality and truth is evident in what he shares with his online audience, drawing from many faiths and beliefs to share messages of hope and love. And I mean, I could talk forever, and I know this is a longer video, and if it's too long for you, just watch it in snippets. But my son Andrew, who's 28 right now, he's currently in Montreal, Canada, but he went to Wake Forest University in the Carolinas, and he was an interfaith major. And he would he would share all these different interfaith stuff, religions, not spiritualities. But then eventually he turned me on to The Secret and Conversations with God and Neil Donald Walsh. So all of a sudden my spirituality started opening. So not only Catholic, Christianity, different faiths, then different spiritualities. So thank you, Andrew, for opening me up to that. And I'm still growing. And there's Science of Mind, Centers for Spiritual Living are also in an organization called Association for Global New Thought. Association of Global, AGNT, I think it is. And Centers for Spiritual Living, Unity, and Agape, which is out in California. The three of them are part of this association. And I told Julie during the interview for this article, I would love for Friends in the Spirit 111 to be part of that also. So send your good thoughts, your prayers, your affirmations, that may happen one day. Okay, so now here's a picture of me and Lizzie, my wife, on our little love seat, right? Cue the Spirit. And that's just right out the door. And I basically just move the settee, bring the camera up, move some lights, and we do that. And we haven't done that in a few weeks. Liz wasn't feeling well, but she's feeling better now. So hopefully we're going to be starting that up soon again, because a lot of you really like that a lot. Under the picture it says, Luisi and his wife Liz started another Facebook page, Cue the Spirit, where they sit on their love seat and connect with friends. Then it says, faith, family, friends, blessed again. Luisi effortlessly names the three most important things in his life: faith, family, and friends. This is what I share through Friends in the Spirit 111, he says, and I invite our community to share theirs back with each other. Faith, family, and friends are the three most important things in my life. I wrote a song about that. I'm in the process of producing it with Reverend Steph and Jubilation and Roger Ryan from Nashville. So hopefully sometime in October we're going to do that. But Robin Roberts, my dear co-worker and friend in the Spirit 111 from GMA, those are the three most important things in her life too. And she says it. In addition to the Friends in the Spirit 111 ministry, Luisi has started another Facebook page called Cue the Spirit, where he and his wife Liz sit on their love seat and share some thoughts on the previous Saturday's weekly weekend message. They continue to express inspiring insights, thoughts, and questions of faith to share with their community. And Luisi says he'll do so until God shows him another plan. His goal is to help others cue their spirits by being a positive force on this beautiful earth. I am touching people's lives, he says. This is like having a Saturday morning church service in which I am always open to the Spirit, as is our community. We are non-judgmental, welcoming of all beliefs, open to Spirit and to each other. I love to help, love to mentor, he adds, whether through this ministry, my music ministry, media, or simply by being with my kids. I try to stay positive in everything I do and to share that with others. Like I said before, I'm not always perfect. And do I get angry once in a while? And do I get upset? And do I stress out with bills and leaks in the ceiling and the water? Sure I do. But I try to stay positive, and I try to, keep focused, go within, quiet myself down, pray, meditate. And I'm always open to God's will. And let's read a little bit more. While social media frequently and perhaps rightly is considered a distraction, a waste to time, a place for derision and discord, Luisi plows a different path by using the tools of social media to uplift, to inspire, to create connections. He approaches his colleagues and the guests on Good Morning America with the same inclusiveness and spiritual blessings. Each morning, as he cues co-anchor Robin Roberts on the set, she sees the tattoo on his forearm, and she says then she too feels blessed. So as a stage manager, I stand by the camera, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I cue. So I cue the spirit, and Robin sees blessed. My other arm says forgiven, right? And in that picture, in the front of this, it says blessed and forgiven. So then it says, that's the end of the article. Eddie Luisi and his wife Liz live with their 4 children in Rockland County, New York. For more on Friends in the Spirit 111, visit the Facebook page. You obviously know about that. You can email Eddie directly at friendsinthespirit111@gmail.com and visit his website at fencescomingdown.com. Now, this is an aside from the writer. And Julie mentioned this to me on the phone. I said, you got to put this in the article. She said, I normally don't share stuff like this. I said, this is important. The readers need to read this. And she said, let me think about it. Let me pray about it. And she spoke to her editor. She put it in. And it's beautiful. I love the way they did it. And Holly did all the layout. It's beautiful. Could not have been better. Sometimes writers chase stories. Sometimes story chase writers. Inarguably, the best case, the story and the writer meet serendipitously. You can laugh at me, it's okay. As a contributor to this magazine, I scan for stories in all possible places. As an administrator of the Science of Mind Facebook page, I read every comment on every post, sometimes several times a day. So when I started to see regular comments from Eddie Luisi, always tagged with Friends in the Spirit 111, my curiosity was piqued. I looked Eddie up on Facebook and sent him a friend request. I reached out to him by email to learn more about what his goals were for Friends in the Spirit 111 group. As any writer would, I asked questions and follow-up questions, and then I asked follow-ups to the follow-ups, and she did. My original interest in Eddie's story was the simple premise that social media can be used effectively to put good into the world, that one person can essentially bring positive messages to a multitude. I'll admit, when I first reached out to Eddie, my goal was to ask him to not use Science of Mind page to promote his own group. What I learned was that his efforts dovetail with ours, that he is a man of integrity, passion, and spirituality, that his story is our story. I hope you agree. J.M. Yep. I am not competing with anybody. I am not trying to push any ministry off the face of the earth or planet. I'm just sharing my thoughts, the different things that come to me, and I put it in my own little way. As I look at my little clock, I'm up at 33 minutes. So this was probably one of the longest videos I ever did. And if you stayed to the end, all in one sitting, awesome. If you had to stop for some reason, that's okay. If you pick up and do 10 minutes a day, that's awesome also. But I wanted to share this with you. I'm very honored, very blessed. I don't know where this is going to take me, our ministry, Friends in the Spirit 111. But either way, I'm honored, I'm blessed, I'm grateful for this opportunity and other opportunities. And I've been in some podcasts and some other articles, and I have some other big people and organizations that are interested in what I'm doing to help me promote it. So let's see where God's going to take it. Next month, August 18, I turn 60 years old. And let's see what God has for the next 5 years, from 60 to 65. So, dear Friends in the Spirit 111, thank you for listening. Don't forget to share your faith with family and friends. And as my lovely wife says, cue the Spirit. Cue your spirit. Thank you. God bless you. Bye.